Jay, we did say it was getting a little bit colder, but I think this is getting a little ridiculous.
I was sick of hearing him complain about the cold, so I give him a real hat that would keep him warm.
Well, I guess this would be what it'd be like if I actually had hair, right?
You actually do have hair. It's just muskrat
That's
hair.
muskrat. Well, I've been called worse.
Yeah.
Having good, solid boots on the ground is one of the most important things when you're investing into a new marketplace. One of the hottest markets out there right now is Alberta. And within Alberta, I believe Edmonton is the opportunity for you. If you're interested in the Edmonton marketplace, think about this video as that we're bringing Edmonton to you. Pending when you're watching this video, you may find that this video was filmed in the middle of winter. Myself and my business associate, Jason Mattern, my boots on the ground in Edmonton, we walked through many of the different opportunities that are available in the Edmonton marketplace right now. So if you're interested in investing in a marketplace that has cash flow potential and equity upside, Edmonton is the marketplace for you. All right, let's go. Do we have to go outside?
We must.
We must. Why are we going outside? We're in like the winter wonderland out here. Where are we, Jay? What area of town?
We are in Northeast Edmonton in the McConaughey area, and we're going to be looking at resale. We get this question all the time, Russ. Should I be buying new construction or should I be buying resale? And you know what? There is no right answer to that, but there is a specific type of resale property that I think does bring great value, especially to long distance investors, maybe with a little less risk tolerance, that is looking for that nice, safe base hit into the Edmonton marketplace.
Nice. Well, we're just going to get outside here and check out a few properties.
And it's only -10.
Only -10.
Yeah.
A balmy -10.
Balmy -10.
All right. So we're on site here in the McConaughey area. Jay, what's going on? What are out in front of here today?
Well, like I said, there's resale opportunities, I think, that can be a little bit more difficult. Buying a property off MLS, plucking it off MLS and dealing with either a seller or vacant property. There is a little bit easier step, Russ. I think if you can target properties that have tenants and management already in place, we do get these back at Tri-Urban. You know what? And they're easy. They're that nice, safe base hit. Again, entry point into the Edmonton marketplace where the income is there, the tenants are in place, the management teams are in place. And a lot of cases, these are coming back from our customers to where we had an opportunity to vet this property from the beginning. So they're getting a good qualified property the second time around, and it comes with tenants and management in place. Behind us here is one where we've got a customer. Now, I'm going to back up a bit because I think when anyone buys these, we always thinking long-term. We're always thinking retirement plans or income replacement or long-term wealth. But you know what? Life happens. So a lot of times we get calls when, and I hate to say it, divorce or death or whatever, life happens where there's circumstances where people need to sell assets. This is a circumstance like that. We've got a customer that bought this property a few years ago. They've managed it and they've maintained it, and now they would like to sell it. It comes with tenants and management in place, and it's a side-by-side duplex building, roughly in that 700 range, all in.
Yep. And so this would be good for a good first-time home buyer, time-starved, who just doesn't have a lot of time to fuss around and just wants a good asset to set it and forget it.
Well, absolutely. And I think a lot of people, especially first time, if you're looking into a long distance marketplace for the first time, there's a lot of question mark there, right? And a lot of what ifs. You don't have the contacts yet. You don't know where don't have that business process set up. And something like this is really use the term business in a box. That's what it is. You're buying a property, you're buying an existing business model because it does have tenants, management. We're really just doing the transaction from the front end and really connecting your business model to it. It's easy.
Perfect. So we're going to be doing a few more tours of some more properties, and we're just starting at Tier 1, and we're going all the way up to some big deals towards the end of the day, aren't we?
Big deals, no pressure.
Big deals, no whammies, right? All right, gang. So cheers. We'll be right back. All right, Jay, before we turn the heat off again, what are we about to go see now?
Well, now we're shifting gears. Someone that's interested in new construction, right? So if someone's coming in, say $100,000-$200,000, they're looking to place into the marketplace, this is a good starting point. This is a single family home with a legal basement apartment.
Well, Jay, you know what? You are right. It is a little bit. It's not minus 300.
No.
We've shot many a video over the years of the fur hats, and we may have to break them out again today. What might we?
The wind is supposed to pick up this afternoon, so that equates to a fur hat, my friend.
A fur hat. Oh,
Yes.
Well, you need to have that. Does a fur hat come with a purchase of a new home?
Only in Edmonton.
Only in Edmonton. All right, so we're standing out in front of a new construction property.
Yes.
Talk to me about this place.
Well, this is a kind of the entry level, I guess, on new construction with, interest rates and, everything else where it's at. Buying a home without a legal secondary suite is really tough to make cash flow. This is a home with a legal basement apartment, 3 bedrooms up with a 1-bedroom basement suite. So just talking about the tenant profile, I guess, that's going to live in this and really kind of tying into a little bit more details there. These upper suites are people that are coming typically from an apartment background or a townhome background. These are people that are just starting life's journey together. Really, they're decided they need a 3-bedroom home. They may or may not be married yet. The girlfriend or the wife might be pregnant. They're expecting the family to grow. And this is kind of their first 3-bedroom home. Because they come from a multifamily environment already, they're okay sharing the lower level with another tenant, and they're budget conscious. They can't afford to rent the whole house themselves. The other thing is because they're starting life's journey together, they don't have all the stuff that we accumulate. The garage and the basement, oh my gosh, in 5 years it gets full. These people are going to stay 1 to 2, maybe 3 years. And when they leave, they're going to move on to their own home, probably renting the whole house themselves to where they've gotten married, they've stabilized their careers, and now they can afford to take that next step.
Yeah. So understanding your tenant profile is critical, and these attract good tenants.
These are great tenants. These are the upper 4 tenants is what we would call an anchor tenant, the small starting out family. The basement is kind of by design. We've got 1-bedroom suites there where we're really looking to attract a single person, maybe a couple, but a single person. These are apartment dwellers, Russ. These people, maybe lived in an apartment building downtown, and with COVID and the germs, they moved out into a nice, quiet residential neighborhood where they can have that same space, in a lot of cases at a lower price, and not be in that same multifamily environment.
Yep.
These people, they go to work, they leave work, they hit the grocery store, skip the dishes, and they tie into their computer or Game Boy all night and then hit repeat. Yep. They come and go. They're apartment dwellers. So the 2 tenant profiles merge very nicely.
Nice. Now, in Edmonton, something like this is ballpark price range type. So let's talk for investors now. So for an investor coming in, obviously they're not moving here, not living here. Most of them are out of town. What would somebody be able to pick something like this up, and what are some of the numbers? Ballpark.
Well, price-wise, you're going to be looking around, I would say that $550 range is a good starting point. When I'm saying $550,
not 1.55, it's $550 for a full house.
This is Edmonton. That's right. We haven't got there yet. But at the end of the day, that $550 is going to be an all-in price where we'll include the fencing and the landscaping and the window coverings, everything that you're going to need to place a tenant. So, and of course, that's going to be subject to change a little bit because the lot values on the end here, and the actual models, there's, several different models that we can choose from, and they all vary, I guess, based on square footage and in the lot value. But that $550 is a real good mark. Shifting over to cash flow analysis, in today's higher interest rates, they're a little tough, but we've got some strategies employed here to really weather that storm for the next 18 to 24 months, however long this is going to take, to keep these properties in a positive cash flow environment. Looking 2 years down the road, they're starting to look pretty juicy
and
when we start reducing interest rates.
Bottom line is you've been very proactive on the creativity on getting these properties. Look, we even got a little friend up there on the roof, a little magpie coming to join us. So bottom line is you've been creative to get these properties to work. Rents have not kept up with the interest rate. However, rents are going up quite quickly. Are they not in the market?
Well, they are, especially the upper suites here. The 3-bedroom suites have really taken a big jump lately. And I think, again, the higher interest rate environment, we got to see the full context of that because, yes, it is causing a little bit of short-term stress in the cash flow situations. But ultimately, as an investor, this is a good long-term thing. It's pushing more people into renting for longer. So ultimately, our customer base is growing like crazy.
Nice. So if somebody's interested in picking up a property like this, where do they get a hold of you?
Well, probably visit our website. Tryurban.com is the easiest place to start, Russ. And you know what? We've got a little bit of a process to go through this. If you're, you can't be in a rush, because at the end of the day, it's about placing that right asset into your family, because we all know we're doing this for a reason. And whether it be a retirement plan or income replacement or get rich quick, whatever it is, we just want to make sure that we're matching the property type to not only your budget, but your personal circumstance.
Yep.
And this is one property type. We're going to explore a few others today.
Yep.
And ultimately just try and give, our investors a little bit more information and context in making the right decision.
Nice. Well, I got to do some more weightlifting to get my shoulder going. My arm's starting to shake here a little bit. I got to do a little bit of...
He's not kidding. It's starting to shake.
Anyways, we're just doing a quick tour of a whole bunch of different options, and stay tuned for the next one. All right, Jay, you're taking me to all the fancy places. We're down a back alley here. So is there going to be some garbage trucks coming through? Why do you take me all the fancy place? How come we're in a back alley?
Well, I tell you, this is where all the action happens, Russ, and there's some pretty important information that we're looking at here in the back alley. So, the segue.
Yes.
Garage suites. So this is kind of that next level in a residential investment, where you were taking the secondary suite and it's going up above the garage instead of in the lower level. This gives us, you know what? I'll just cut to the chase. This is probably my favorite type when you're looking for secondary suites and looking to maybe have a little competitive advantage in the marketplace with maintaining tenancies. And let me give a little more context to that. When you have a grad suite, you actually move the secondary suite into its own separate building. Okay, so all the things like noise, smell, privacy, all those types of things are eliminated. And quite frankly, there's more space between the house and the grad suite than there is even between neighboring properties. So when we look at a home with a lower secondary suite, they're still good if they're designed properly, but you're still two people under one roof. Now, on top of that, as you can see, look at all the nice windows, right? So when you're in a lower basement apartment, windows are limited, no doubt about it. They still work, but these give a lot more natural light, that really nice lofty feeling. And you know what? When tenants get these, they don't want to leave, right? So they are more money to build. They're going to be, roughly $90,000 to $100,000 more to build over a home with a lower secondary suite. But they do get more income. We're averaging probably $300 to $400 a month more income to spend that extra money. And on top of that, I think long-term, really stabilizing our tenancies and reduced tenant turnover. So, I guess the question is it worth it? Yeah,
well, that's one of the things you find is when the main house tenant has the whole house, they rent a lot faster than a house that has a suite in the basement, typically.
Yes, you hit the nail on the head. And Russ, it's the same tenant dynamic. The suite at home that we talked about previously, this is that next level of tenant. These people now want the whole house to themselves. They want the basement for themselves. They need the storage. It turns into a kid's playroom. Their careers are stabilized, but they want the whole house to themselves. So this is the option.
So different tenant profile, same tenant profile, but just a little bit tenant that might want a little more space. They get the basement, all kind of stuff like that.
They're just a little bit more stabilized in life. These people are married, their careers are in place. They're targeting a neighborhood because their family lives here, their kids go to school or they go to the local church. So it's again, the same tenant profile, but just a little bit more stabilized.
And do people use short-term rentals on maybe the secondary suites on the back here? Is that an option?
No doubt about it. There's no doubt these are being utilized as Airbnbs and short-term rentals.
It's easier to do this because it's detached as opposed to an attached.
That's right. And I think the question with that people, a little bit of diesel engine noise.
Well, somebody's getting
it is Alberta.
Somebody getting their car towed away.
But the reality is that you need to take that on an individual case by case, because they have the ability to produce more revenue, but there's going to be more management tied to it. So at the end of the day, just do the math. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, these make great long-term rentals.
Perfect. And so the long-term rentals, garage suites are not every property can be a garage suite, typically.
Well, and this is probably the shininess of a garage suite, is because there's not many of them available. You can see the size of them. They are bigger than a regular garage. You can see the regular garage beside this building. They take up more space. So there's, lots that we have to target that will specifically accommodate a garage suite. And I'll be honest, I do like these end lots, Russ. You can see the extra parking pad that we can put. And this parking stall right here is specifically for the grad suite.
Yeah.
So it works.
Well, that's why you specifically pick these, because you got a corner lot, you got lots of parking, and then you put an extra parking pad in. One of the biggest challenges between tenancies is no parking. So you fix that in design, don't you?
That's right. And again, this relates back to new construction. When we start with a blank slate, we can work all these details into it, because we always tell people this is the fun, easy part.
Hey, easy there. He's getting some real estate investor abuse here or something.
he needs some, by the way. But we always tell people this is the fun, easy part, the acquisition. It's exciting, right? Yeah. But then pretty soon, a couple months down the road, we hand the keys to your property manager, and that's where the rubber really hits the road, right? Yeah. And this is where, your mind needs to start thinking about your financial statements from year 2 to 15 or whatever your timeline is, and stabilizing the tenancies.
Yep.
Because the tenancies, vacancies, tenant turnovers, your repair and maintenance cost, and your management costs are the 3 big things that will chew into your cash flow on a long-term basis.
Nice. Well, I tell you, I don't know if you can pick up the grumbling or not, but that's our stomachs. It's time for lunch, isn't it, Jay? We're going to go tour a few more properties, and we're just building the story here. These are all different opportunities in the Edmonton marketplace to invest, and we got a couple things planned for when we're in the studio of the office, where it's nice and warm, for us to go and do a few more shots as well.
You're getting soft, Russ. You're getting soft.
Jay, I had to turn my Saskatchewan card in when I talk about how cold it is. This is like flip flops and shorts weather almost. All right, gang. So we'll see you at the next property. Well, Jay, we did say it was getting a little bit colder, but I think this is getting a little ridiculous.
I was sick of hearing him complain about the cold, so I give him a real hat that would keep him warm.
Well, I guess this would be what it would be like if I actually had hair, right?
You actually do have hair. It's just muskrat
That's
hair.
muskrat. Well, I've been called worse. All right, so we're continuing our tour here. We just had a wonderful lunch here in the area. Where are we looking at now? What's the next property?
Well, next level up. So investors that are coming and looking maybe to get a 2-for-1 deal, not 2-for-1, but 2-in-1, I should say.
2-in-1, yeah.
2-for-1 deal.
Yeah, Jay, we're going to get a video of an email is going to say, please give me one of those 2-for-1 offer, 2-for-1 properties. The prices are good in Edmonton, but not that good.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. This is now taking, again, that next step. This is a side-by-side duplex building, and it's got legal basement apartments on each side. So we've got 4 rental suites under this one roof. So you can see down the side, I don't know, you can see the secondary suite entrance there. Again, segregating the entrances, but scales of economy do kick in these types of buildings a little bit, because you are getting too attached. You've got a common wall, so sometimes reducing costs a little bit with these types of buildings. And then more importantly, the management, the long-term management. You've got, if something's going on next door, well, you literally own this building. So you can really tighten up the long-term management aspect of it as well.
Yeah. So essentially, it's a fourplex in essence. So one is it 2 titles, 1 title?
Now, in new neighborhoods like this, these do come on 2 titles. So there's 2 mortgages here.
Yep.
In infill neighborhoods, we can build these quite easily on 1 title.
Nice. So there's some financing opportunities. It's option. So who's this best for as an investment client? Who would this be best for?
Well, I would say people, again, that are, looking and because the down payment, the price is going up a little bit. So the down payment in today's values, we're looking probably around that $225,000 range. Again, that's going to move a little bit, based on lot and model selection. But at the end of the day, if you're coming in and you want to invest into the marketplace and you really want to get, 2 done right up front. Yep. This is about as easy as it gets.
Yep.
Versus looking for 2 individual homes or properties. You're getting 2 here in really one swoop.
Yeah, I know some clients from Vancouver and Toronto that have come in. Some of them haven't even seen their places yet. They just come in, they get something, have it built for them, and they just have been very happy with both the tenant profile and also the numbers so far.
Yeah, many don't. I mean, at the end of the day, it's each to their own. I mean, a lot of people will come for the end for the pre-delivery walkthrough, but many still don't.
Yep.
I mean, I think we've got the process nailed. We've done it a few times, but at the end of the day, yeah, a property like this, comparatively, we're about 1.1-ish million here for this whole fourplex building.
Yep.
Comparatively, I don't know. You could tell me what you get in Vancouver for that amount of money,
Well,
but I don't think it's one of these.
A little more than a townhouse.
Yeah. So the revenue from these are really on par with single family homes. These upper suites in these units now are up over the 1,900 mark. The lower suites are, right around that 900 to 1,000 mark. So with utility charge on top of that, these buildings are, close to that $4,000 range per month.
Yeah. So nice flexibility of being able to have them potentially on either one or two titles. You potentially can sell one off if you wanted to. You control the entire building with the tenant profile. It's easier to manage. So what's not to love?
They work.
Yep.
Work. The parking works. You've got 4 not only exterior parking stalls, you have another 4 internal parking stalls. And I keep harping about parking, but this is Edmonton. LRTs haven't really kicked off yet. They're, but that'll come as our population grows over the next 5 years, decade here. There are population targets where they're headed. So this is all stuff that we, in today's world, we need to pay attention to, because it's not respectfully what I want or a customer wants. Really, we've got a tenant paying, 30, 40 grand a year to live in each of these suites.
Yep.
We need to pay attention to what they want.
Well,
right?
it's key when the forecast is to add another 1 million more people to the Edmonton area in the next 15 to 20 years,
right,
give or take. Housing is going to be needed. So, gang, this is why we're looking at some new properties. So get in front of the wave is really what we're trying to tell you. So speaking of wave, man, we need to get some warmth with maybe some surfing or something here, brother.
No waves around here. Yeah, everything's frozen solid.
Damn. All right, so where are we going next?
Next, I think we're going to up the game a little bit, and we're going to look at the next level, which would probably be, start looking at multiplexes.
Nice. So we'll see you there, gang. Hot tip, everybody, when you're doing video work, you have to hit the little button that says record. So we just laid down a whole bunch of wonderful content and information while in the truck here, Jay. So
unfortunately, we're the only two that's going to know about it.
Yeah, we're the only ones. So that's our secret. Shh, all that good stuff, we're not going to tell anybody else. Okay. Jay, what area of town are we in?
Well, we're in North Edmonton, Russ. We're cruising around the Anthony Henday, looking at this northeast corner, this far northeast corner. This is, again, from a development perspective, really in its infancy. The Anthony Henday Freeway out here has only been open for a couple of years, and as a result, it has not seen the expanded growth or urban sprawl that other areas have seen. And looking at, again, some of the economic fundamentals, real drivers that are going to drive our housing market, again, like the Alberta industrial heartland, in this area with population projections, this is an area that we're definitely targeting for real estate investments, because we all know the 3 aspects of a real estate investment being cash flow, which we're getting in Edmonton, mortgage principal reduction, as long as we're paying our mortgages every month, or should I say our tenants paying our mortgages. And the third aspect is the capital appreciation. So we're betting on this area appreciating at a higher, quicker rate than the rest of Edmonton.
Yeah, and we're not that far away from, maybe if you're from out of town, you've heard of this thing called the industrial heartland. So we're not that far from there. And anytime you see an announcement about hydrogen or upgraders or large capital projects, a lot of that's going into the industrial heartland, isn't it, Jay?
Well, Russ, it's the largest piece of annexed industrial land in Canada, and it's literally right on Northeast Edmonton doorstep here. And you know what? There is a website for it. It's industrialheartland.com. If you don't know about it, you should go to it. There's like $45 billion in capital projects underway right now, creating 30,000 plus jobs. So you start throwing 30,000 employees into an area and throwing that kind of, again, economic driver into the system, it's going to have a positive effect on our housing.
And it's on the doorstep of this area that we're recommending or driving through right now?
Absolutely.
Well, this is an interesting looking property. Jay, what do we got going on here?
Yes, this is, again, switching back to resale, coming back to properties with tenants and management already in place. This is a multiplex building, so it's really like 4 townhomes put into one. It is on 4 individual titles. But again, for that investor that's looking to make one move, and looking in that $1.5 million range, this is a perfect opportunity for them to consider.
What kind of rent are they getting for this ballpark?
Well, you know what? Again, with things going in a rental market a little bit zooey here lately, a year ago, these units were renting for in that $1,750 range. They're all over $1,900 now. So we've just seen these 3-bedroom units. And really, my perspective, my opinion is these 3-bedroom units are seeing a lot of pressure on them. You're seeing a lot of people, that are needing 3-bedroom homes, and affordability is an issue. So, are they going to look at homes that are, $2,600, or look and get the same really living space here for, literally hundreds of dollars less than that, under $2,000 a month, and literally have the same living space, square footage inside, as a standalone single-family home.
What kind of square footage are these?
Well, these units are right around that, 1,100 each.
Yeah.
They each come with a single-car garage. And again, looking at 2-story homes and new developments, they're all, now, especially with the lots getting smaller and smaller and smaller, they're all like 1,100 square feet. You do get the yard and stuff. These still have a yard, but you know what? You've got, a common wall in between them. So they're not quite, a single family home. But like I say, $700-800 a month talks to tenants when they're looking to rent the same space.
Well, and just for perspective, everybody, and you're probably sitting there going, I know this is Edmonton, and you're understanding that for, you're saying just under around $2,000 for 1,400 square feet. Holy moly, we just looked at something for one of our daughters for a 1-bedroom condo for $1,795 for 750 square feet out in Vancouver area and the suburb of Vancouver, not even in Vancouver. So I firmly believe that the rent value here is off the charts, affordable in Edmonton for the rental affordability. And I personally believe it's under rented. I really do.
Value-wise.
Value-wise,
right.
100%. For what you get, for what you pay, this is an incredible value opportunity. And I firmly believe as more people come in and the inventory gets tighter, the rents are going to be starting going up even faster.
Well, I think it's all relative, no doubt about it. And again, taking that next layer of information and looking into the rental markets, these properties don't have secondary suites, so they don't particularly cash flow is good typically, but it's not uncommon to have tenants in these units for 7, 8, 9, 10 years at a time either. So you're trading off a little cash flow for long-term stability. And you know what? That's important to a lot of investors. That's me. This is my type of property.
Yeah, nice and simple. You call them the steady Eddie.
They are the steady Eddie. You buy them, you place a tenant, and exchange Christmas cards. You do the walkthrough twice a year, and it's really a great relationship. You're having a customer and doing business with someone that we actually want to have a relationship with. Right?
The set it and forget it model. Almost.
That's right.
Right on. All right, so on to the next one. All right, well, let's, before we get out into the cold, Jay, talk to me about, we have an interesting opportunity here, and you were telling me this is something that just came across your desk just recently, and it's got some interesting opportunity to it. What's going on?
Well, opportunity is a good word. This one has opportunity written all over it. Matter of fact, redevelopment opportunity. So when we're talking new construction, we can go into, nice new engineered neighborhoods like what we've been looking at. Those are nice and easy, straightforward. For investors that maybe have a little bit more risk tolerance, maybe a little bit more capital to play with, willing to be a little bit more patient with the process, maybe want to play on our wholesale side a little bit more. Infill opportunities are a great opportunity to, create some sweat equity. No secret, they're going to be the financing constraints, the cash requirements are more.
Yeah.
The risk is more, but at the end of the day, there's the opportunity there to capitalize on it.
Well, and we're going to go take a look at this. I know we're not going to probably share the address on this. I know somebody who might put their name on this one as well. But what is the opportunity? Like this is, and I'll show you this in a second, but it's a house on a large lot. What kind of the numbers look like?
Yeah, so basically it's an older home. We're just outside of the downtown area here, so meaning we can put up to 8 residential units on it. So, the redevelopment plan, is exactly that. Is you've got an older home that we can demolish. It makes more sense to put a multiplex building on it. And then the idea, I guess, moving forward is to put a nice 4-plex building on this with 3-bedroom uppers, 2-bedroom lowers, and then add an additional 2 suites up above the garages in the back end. So we'd really have a 6-plex.
6 units where there was once 1, then eventually there'd be 6, right?
That's right. And in an infill environment, because we can literally do this on 1 title, requiring only 1 mortgage.
You can start with 1 piece of land. After you're done, you have 6 rental units.
It's an opportunity. Like I told you just before we were off air, these opportunities are rare, and I think you can see, from looking at the neighborhood here where we're at, in a neighborhood that's really under redevelopment. We're on a street here and, probably half the homes have been redeveloped already. So we know there's comparables there and the value, on the retail side. And I think the play at the end of the day on this one, and I think you don't make that decision today because I think a project like this is going to take, call it 12 to 15 months. And I think at that time is probably decision time, whether you sell it for profit or whether you maybe can set up your financing at appraised value and pull a lot of that equity back out and lower your down payment capital. But anyhow, those are probably the 2 main strategies with something like this. But again, it's probably going to be a wait and see where that market's at, in 12 to 15 months, and what's going to be the best move for whatever investor gets this.
Multiple different exit strategies, multiple different ways of doing it. So looks like we have some Amazon deliveries and some other people coming through. So gang, we're going to go take a look at this beauty. So I see you're missing something, Jay, on top of your head there, by the way.
Well, I'm not the soft one, Russ, so I figured you should keep up the good work.
Well, I'm sitting there, I'm trying to fit in out here.
Keep that hair on your head.
I'm trying to fit in and got to wear my hat, but apparently not needed. It's actually warmed up a little bit.
It has.
What's going on?
Yes.
And the reason why it's warmed up is because we're in a hot area to invest in here. We got some really interesting, this is a really interesting development going on. What's going on back here, Jay?
Well, we're in the Blatchford area, and I think for people that don't know about it, it's the old municipal airport. And one of the interesting things in Blatchford is the density rules of the some of the buildings that we're able to put up here. In behind us here, you can see it's a 4-unit townhome building with actually 10 rental suites. So there's 3-bedroom uppers, 2-bedroom lowers, and then you can see the garage suite units in behind us here. So there's also 2-bedroom suites up above the garage. So this type of building, Russ, this is, again, we're started at kind of the entry level. We're scaling up to where this is probably, for an investor, again, that wants to make one play, but maybe wants to play and utilize commercial financing. And something like this certainly qualifies under the new MLI Select program. So it's a great opportunity, not only, and I think where we kind of compare this is maybe looking, someone that's looking at maybe a multi-family building.
Yep.
And this is a whole nother conversation. We don't have time to talk about that today, but, this is still residential properties. These are, again, based on comparative market analysis. And where we're at in our real estate cycle today in Edmonton, and with residential prices expected to rise, they're always the front end of that scale where multi-family buildings are, value determined by income approach.
Yep.
So this is the way to participate in a residential marketplace and get that, sooner capital appreciation, but also utilize commercial finance.
Yeah. So essentially, like this is 4 units. Is it one title typically?
No, these are 4 individual titles.
4 individual titles. Yeah. It's 2 garage suite properties and then two suited properties. So essentially there's, explain that again to me.
Okay, so it's really,
I got to get my 6th grade Saskatchewan math out here.
Let's do some quick math. So it's really 4 townhome units, right?
Okay.
Side by side. Boom, 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 boom.
Right.
There's 3-bedroom upper suites.
Yep.
And then there's 2-bedroom lower suites in each townhome. So
okay.
in the main building, we've got 8 units.
Yep.
And then in the back, you can see the garage suites here on the 2 wing units. We've got another 2 garage suites up above as well.
So there's 8 units and then the 4 units, and then there's 2 extra garage suites. So 10 units, a 10plex.
10plex.
Yeah.
10 units.
And what kind of a price point is somebody buying these for?
Well, these are, just based on where we're at and the architecture that's gone into these, they're a little higher price point, but the rents are quite a bit higher as well. The tenant profile is a little bit different. We're right on downtown's doorstep here, literally. But buildings like this are going to be, anywhere from $3 to $3.5 million.
Yeah. Well, these are high-end units, and we toured through this past summer ago.
Yes. Yeah.
And these are really high-end stuff. They're geothermal. There are lots of really interesting things that are going on for energy on these ones as well.
Well, and understanding the mandate behind the community of Blatchford is to be, Canada's largest sustainable community. They even have their own energy system. So all the buildings are green energy built, certified. They got geothermal heating, cooling. Yeah. And recently, we've added solar panel to all of them as well. So very next wave, if you will.
Something for everybody. So really, this is kind of a play of somebody. It's literally it's a pension plan. Like a person will come in and buy on one play, can have a little retirement plan built in just one transaction.
Yeah, let's face it, Russ. Yep. There's lots of investors out there that that have larger down payments that they're working with, and again want to make one play. You can go out and buy an older multifamily building, yes. Yep. And I would love to talk to anyone and just share my opinion on that too.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it's really about just putting that money to work, and where will that type of capital investment be best utilized. Again, we're doing this for another reason, and it's not for the goodness of our health, although it is. But it's part of a retirement plan or wealth creation, and peeling the layer of the onion back and looking at something like this might make sense if this is where you're at.
Awesome. Well, we're right in the middle of an active construction zone, and we're getting a few looks from things, but there's some wonderful opportunities. If you're looking for bigger deals, there's lots of opportunities like that. Plus, on the ride back to the office, we're going to talk about a couple projects that we're not going to go see, but I think there's some really cool opportunities. Something for everybody. In this
Absolutely.
Area, right? Literally, if you're just wanting to get a resale property all the way up to larger scale development opportunities, something for everybody. Edmonton is open for business. All right, gang. So we're just on our way back out to the office here after a day out in the field. And you know what? Holy moly, we've seen everything from side-by-sides and single families all the way up to some 10-plex and some multiplex and infills. And Jay was also mentioning here in the truck and on the way out is there's actually a big townhome development that he has has an opportunity here as well. So Jay, what's going on it's out St. Albert Way, isn't it?
Yeah. So basically, that's exactly what it is. It's a townhome development. Again, this is for either larger scale investors or maybe a group of individuals that are looking for, a nice solid play. There's about 2 acres of land, and we've got a building permit in place for a 32 unit townhome development, and about a 5,500 square foot footprint for commercial, which will be 2-story as well. So again, portfolio value or project value, we're looking at right around that $10 million mark, give or take. And this is something that we can be doing really on one title. We're going to subdivide the commercial off, but the actual townhome development itself is going to be on one title. And that gives options. The idea behind it that we have, the vision is to develop it. We're going to keep it as a townhome rental community, having the commercial amenities basically right on site. So we're working with some commercial, lease holders to take over some of that commercial stuff for amenities. And then really down the road, the option would be there to, condominiumize and sell individual units or, sell the project, once stabilized. Just lots of opportunities. But at the end of the day, again, getting into that residential marketplace with that 3-bedroom family tenant profile, which I think is key. And then being able to utilize commercial financing for something like this. And get in on the development side, get in on a little bit more wholesale value. If you will.
Yeah. So lots of opportunity. And you know what? We're just sitting here now. One of the reasons why I wanted to shoot some of the video here in the F350 tour is Jason and I have had some amazing conversations in his trucks over the years. And this is where deals happen. This is where the magic happens. And if you're ever interested, Jay, are you still offering, tours for people maybe from Toronto or Vancouver? Do you still offer some tours if somebody wants to come to town and somebody's interested in buying one of these projects?
Well, I think why wouldn't I, right? I mean, at the end of the day, we've got an office, absolutely. That's where the paperwork gets done. But at the end of the day, this is the meat and potatoes of what we do. I mean, that's why I'm in a 4-wheel drive truck. You've seen some of the places we have to drive to here, Russ. And I got my insulated rubbers in the back and my fur hat in the dash. But I mean, this is it. This is again where it happens, right?
Yeah.
It's where you sniff the deals out.
Well, and there's always gum, and maybe even a sparkling water, a buble, if you will, waiting for you as well. So Jay, I wanted to just thank you for the wonderful tour. Again, it's been a few months, and holy moly, I've toured a few of these places in the past, and maybe you've seen some videos from a year or so ago. And gang, Jason and I made a call in 2020 that it was an opportunity to buy into the Edmonton marketplace. And right now, gang, there's another opportunity of brewing. It is a very good time to get involved into the Edmonton marketplace. And we have some more videos that we're going to be shooting in the office tomorrow, talking further on economic fundamentals, what's happening in the marketplace. But right now, gang, honest to goodness, this is the time. This is the time to get in. What's your thoughts, Jay?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, there's no doubt you can buy in any real estate cycle and be time in market. Okay, that works if you're willing to wait 30 years. But buying on the right side of a real estate cycle, in an uptrending market, definitely can lower amortizations and the whole timeline to make shit happen. At the end of the day, whether that be the retirement plan or wherever you're headed with this. But you know what? There's so much stuff. I think, Russ, this is, hopefully we can do a good job with some videos, but there's so much information, folks, that you guys don't get to see on your Google feeds or the 6 o'clock news feeds that is happening here in Edmonton. And again, this is stuff that's going to drive the Edmonton housing market. And this is stuff that you need to know about.
Yep.
And I think that's our job to kind of source it out and bring it to you, and you make the decision from there.
Yep. And that's one of the reasons why we want to get out in the field and give you a little slice of Edmonton in the winter, so you don't have to come here potentially. So, all right, gang. So more coming. Check out around this video. There will be other videos for you to check out. And if you're interested in checking out an opportunity, wherever you're watching this video, there should be a link around it that'll take you to a landing page, and on that landing page there'll be a little bit more information. You fill out a little questionnaire, and if you're interested in taking the next step, we'd be happy to help you out. Jay, what's the next step when somebody maybe fills in the information and they're interested in taking a look out here?
Well, I think just to connect, right? Everyone's got individual plans again of what they're trying to accomplish. Real estate's the vehicle they want to use. Got it. But if we understand where you're headed, so the first step is really a conversation. And if that conversation goes well, we're going to move it, to a place where you can get better information. And for me, I'm adapting to technology. It's probably a Zoom conference where I can share my screen.
Yep.
And just really give you guys information. This is not about me. This is not my decision. I know where to find the information at the end of the day, and display it in a way that'll make sense, and make decisions on that side that are best for you and your family.
Yep. Right on. So if you're interested in the next step, just hit the link, take you to the next page. All right, guys. Well, looky, you made it right to the very end. You should be rewarded for this good behavior. Number one, make sure you click the subscribe notification, the button, the bell, all that good stuff here. Subscribe so you don't miss an upcoming episode. And over here and here will be a selected playlist and a next video for you to watch to continue your journey going forward. You should be rewarded with some great content. Let's go!